Good evening and welcome, honored guests, inductees, and fellow Phi Theta Kappa members. I am pleased to present to you the candidates for membership into our honor society. These students have been chosen because they have fulfilled all requirements for membership and have selected service, scholarship, fellowship, and leadership as their hallmarks. I recommend them for acceptance into the Alpha Lambda Phi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. And now I present to you the Vice President of Service, Miss Miranda Shore. Miranda will introduce the first speaker of the evening, the President of Joliet Junior College, Dr. Judy Mitchell. Miranda.
I am the Vice President of Service. It is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Joliet Junior College President Dr. Judy Mitchell, who is a true JJC and Phi Theta Kappa success story. She earned an associate degree in microcomputers for business and computer programming from Joliet Junior College in 1998, and she knows how to build and disassemble computers by hand. During this time, she was also a member of JJC's Phi Theta Kappa chapter. She has earned a degree in business and technology and a master's degree in business administration from Governor State University. In 2012, she received her doctorate in community college leadership from National U.S. University. Dr. Mitchell has risen through the ranks at JJC, having worked here for over 20 years. She began as an administrative assistant in the CIOS department in 1996. In 2001, she was the program management specialist in adult and family services, followed by the assistant to the director of administrative services in 2002. In 2004, she became interim director of administrative services and then the director of business and auxiliary services in 2005. In September 2012, she was appointed to the role of VP of Administrative Services. And in 2016, she was appointed to the president of this great institution. But it all started at JJC, where she was also a member of this college's Phi Theta Kappa chapter, like each of you sitting here today. Not only was she a member, but she was also an officer. Without further ado, Dr. Judy Mitchell.
Good evening. This is a very special event, and I'm happy to share it with you. My story to be shared with you today is not only as a JJC alum, but as a Phi Theta Kappa inductee as well. More than 30 years ago, I knew I wanted to make a change in my life and be able to set an example for my family. With 2 young children, I knew it wouldn't be easy, yet I couldn't help thinking about the opportunities an advanced degree could provide for me. Knowing I was going to eventually compete for a job against those potentially more qualified, I made the decision to pursue my personal and professional goals, and I recognized that education was key to my future success. So I made the decision to enroll in classes at Joliet Junior College, where so many options were presented to me. Fortunately, I had dedicated faculty and an amazing counselor to help me along the way. I'm extremely proud to share that I too was in your shoes. Learning to balance family and school, I then understood the value of a solid education. So I put a great deal of work into my studies, and in 1997 was inducted into JJC's Phi Theta Kappa chapter. This institution from the beginning took good care of me as a returning adult student. At that point, I hadn't been inside a classroom for over 15 years, let alone step foot in a college. When I walk the halls of our beautiful buildings today and spend time with our students in those same classrooms I was in, my collective thoughts are this: what can I do each and every day to give back to an institution that gave so much to me? Let me start by saying this. Joliet Junior College is the first choice for learning, working, and cultivating pathways to prosperity. That is the vision outlined in our strategic plan, and it's truly my guiding principle. What I do each and every single day through my interactions, through my decision-making, and through my relationships is to help guide JJC to be your first choice. What I love about the mission of our JJC's chapter and PTK, it brings together a diverse group of students to recognize their academic achievements and provides opportunities for each of you to grow as scholars and leaders. This year, I will continue to work with and support your PTK leaders with each of the activities and events they lead. I'm so proud of the great work our PTK chapters continue to complete each year and for all the benefits which support others. The 4 hallmarks of this society are scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship. When I think back to my own life path, I see the same themes illuminated along the way. I attribute this to the values I learned throughout my life, but also what I learned in PTK. I earned recognition for my academic success through my induction. This gave me the courage to continue as a non-traditional returning adult student. I had invaluable mentors along the way, leaders who encouraged me to develop my belief system and nurture my ideas. Likewise, I continue to learn a great deal from each of you while continuing to cultivate my need to give back to our community. I'm a board member for both Will and Grundy Economic Development, Habitat for Humanity, and Silver Cross Hospital. I'm also a member of the United Way and Zontas, an organization that supports the growth and empowerment of women in the community. My longest service has been with the New Lenox and Joliet Rotary chapters. Remarkably enough, the Rotary motto is service above self, and their 4-way test are the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Doesn't this sound very familiar to Phi Theta Kappa? These hallmarks are all inspirations of my life, guiding me for over 25 years. They are universal and timeless. They encourage me to be my best at home, at work, and in the community. As your president, a great deal of my time and energy also centers on the theme of service and more specifically, servant leadership. Are any of you familiar with the philosophy of servant leadership? A leader who embodies servant leadership qualities puts the needs of others first and helps people develop and perform as highly as possible. It is only when you are successful that I believe I have been successful in my role here. Ultimately, my hope is to inspire others around me, just like each of you, to be servant leaders. We cannot make this college or the world around us a better place without supporting one another and working together. At JJC, we also talk about being sustainable. Of course, this includes so much more than supporting the sustainability of our environment. It includes sustaining the health of our economy and our society. It is my hope that to lead the college into the next chapter, we will collectively emulate these values of service first to support student success, the growth of access to education for all, cultivating innovation, fostering opportunities, and impacting our communities in lasting and meaningful ways. I hope that after this ceremony, you think about what these hallmarks mean to you. Celebrate your academic success and strive for more. Value your relationships. Consider how best to serve those around you. Think about the leader you are today and the leader you want to be in the future. In this time of uncertainty, here is what I'm most certain of. Joliet Junior College is a resilient institution, and this experience is shaping you to be a resilient leader. As we reflect on 2020 and the deep pain of social injustice, the isolation of the COVID pandemic, and the volatility of our nation, I want you to know the range of emotions you have felt is okay. I can tell you there have been many times throughout this year when I have felt unsure, uncomfortable, distressed. Remember, we're all human. The ability to recognize and reflect on how the external world impacts you and those around you is what builds emotional intelligence. I want you to experience these challenges and, most importantly, see the opportunity inherent in this moment for transformational change. As the nation's first public community college, this is our collective DNA. I encourage you to enter this new era with conviction. What we do today and how we celebrate to get there will shape the JJC of the future. It will shape the world. This chapter was chartered 34 years ago in 1986. Today, you join a remarkable group of JJC PTK students who have no doubt been change makers, innovators, and leaders in their communities. I look forward to your continued success at JJC and beyond. Thank you and take care.
Thank you, Dr. Judy Mitchell. Now, students, you're about to be inducted into a scholarly fellowship which embraces community colleges not only of your own state, but also of the nation and the world. This fellowship is Phi Theta Kappa, and your chapter is Alpha Lambda Phi. After induction, you'll find among the members an atmosphere of scholarship to which you must give yourself so that the organization may be meaningful to you. I have in my hand a torch, symbolic of knowledge, which is a servant of wisdom, which dwells with prudence and leads in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the path of judgment. I have the carnation, typifying purity and beauty of life, with its buds signifying intellectual association.
This is the emblem of Paitera Kappa. It consists of a golden slab, key at the top and bottom. The golden field, like the escutcheon of our coat of arms, refers to the golden opportunities that abound on every hand for society folk to evidence their culture and perform good works. Since gold is the most noble of metals, it shall have a further significance to our society, for it shall represent that nobility attained by those who achieve intellectual leadership. Across the slab, you will observe a black band. It represents the three ideals, which bind us together, and the cultural self-control, which is necessary foundation for true wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Shining through the black enamel background are the three Greek letters, which are the initials of the Greek words, meaning wisdom, aspiration, and purity.
Behind the band is a wreath, one side composed of oak leaves and the other laurel. The oak leaves stand for stability and strength of character, as symbolized by the sturdy oak. The graceful, curling leaves of the laurel signify achievement and success, all attributes for the membership in our society. Above the band is a representation of the head of Athena, a symbol of learning, and the base appears the Greek letters meaning light, the light of knowledge and learning. The common ideals for the members of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. This badge stands as a symbol for the high idealism of our organization and memberships in our select group.
You have studied the constitution of this organization, the purpose of which is to foster a spirit of devotion to study and to scholarly ideals among its members, and whose principles are embodied in the wisdom, aspiration, and purity.
Inductees of the 2020-2021 Alpha Lambda Phi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa, I first want to congratulate you on everything you've accomplished to get you here thus far. I hope you all recognize the importance and honor of being welcomed into such a prestigious class as Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. My experience as an active participant in our chapter of Phi Theta Kappa is one that I can easily say has greatly shaped my life for the better. As soon as I enrolled into JJC, I knew that it was in my own hands to develop as a student outside of the classroom just as much as I would have if I were to have attended a four-year university. Once I became a member of Phi Theta Kappa and was in the exact same position that you are all currently in, I soon realized that this chapter was my pathway to do just that. Although I always had a bit of insecurity in the level of courage I had to be a leader, I never doubted my ability to step outside of my comfort zone and work towards the aspects of life that would not be easy, but would be extremely rewarding and useful once I were able to accomplish those goals. With the undeniable fear of the unknown, I took a leap to becoming president and leading an entire group of prestigious students in a year-long endeavor to reach the goals that we all similarly shared. Working together with the Alpha Lambda Phi team to carry out the projects that genuinely bettered our school and our community gave me a sense of accomplishment unlike any other. Becoming president of the Alpha Lambda Phi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa has truly allowed me to develop into the leader that I always knew I could become, but just needed to free from within. This opportunity has given me more confidence in myself, than I have ever felt before, because I finally feel as though I am prepared to carry the lessons I learned as president into the rest of my life as a student, as a friend, and as a leader. My story is one that I am sure many of you have or will have encountered as you advance in your pursuit of success and growth. If I can give a single piece of advice to those who are currently in the position that I was in only 2 years ago, I urge you to self-reflect and recognize the aspects of your life that make you the most uncomfortable. I urge you to go after those fears and conquer them head on, no matter how difficult they may initially seem, no matter how behind you may feel, no matter the circumstances. I urge you to be uncomfortable. Internalize the aspects of your future that you value the most. Recognize the people that are most important to you. Recognize the parts of yourself that you feel you can be utilized to better the community around you. Let this induction and membership into Phi Theta Kappa be the kickstart to the courage you need to dive into life head on. It, out of anything I have ever experienced, has allowed me to grow the most. Congratulations once again.
Inductees, now that the standards and ideals of this organization have been fully revealed to you, you come to complete the pledge which admits you into complete fellowship. Please stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly promise to uphold the standards of Phi Theta Kappa and to keep this object and aim in mind, and I do solemnly pledge allegiance to my fellow members and promise to aid them in all worthy endeavors.
Hello, my name is Professor Andrew Morrison. I am one of the co-advisors for PTK. It is my pleasure today to get to introduce to you the Fall 2020 inductees to PTK. I'll tell you a little bit about their majors and career goals, and some of our inductees have chosen to share some special thank yous that you will see on the screen. Our first inductee is Maddie Holloway. Maddie's career goals are to finish culinary school and go on to open her own bakery one day. The next inductee is Molly Bolan. Molly is currently a senior in high school. She will be graduating in the spring, and she plans to go into the nursing program here at JJC. Our next inductee is Brianne King. Brianne is a radiation therapy major here at JJC. Next inductee is Angelo Vincent Tefano. Angelo's goals are to finish an Associate's in Applied Science for the Orthotics and Prosthetics Tech program and to continue on to finish his Bachelor's in Biology. His goal is to do a Master's in Orthotics Prosthetics, be a clinician, and help work in hospitals like Shirley Ryan Ability Lab and the VA, helping those like himself be able to walk, dance, run, and be whoever they want to be in life. Our next inductee is Madison Priester. Madison's goals are to graduate with a master's in nursing and become a nurse practitioner. Our next inductee is Patricia Dane Cumba. Patricia is a biology major who would like to transfer to the University of St. Francis to be a part of their medical laboratory science program. She's planning to take the MCAT exam to get into medical school after obtaining enough experience in her chosen field. Her main goal is to become a pathologist. Our next inductee is Angela Nicholson. Angela's goals are to graduate from JJC and transfer to either National Louis University or Lewis University. Her goal is to utilize the academic attainment to further the educational advancement of youth and emerging adults in an inner-city neighborhood and to build a network of educational facilities for safe, creative, and advanced educational instruction. This organization will adequately prepare them to obtain the required academic and social skills that enable them to thrive in high school and the collegiate environment. Next inductee is Sarah Mccann. Sarah is a culinary management major here at JJC pursuing the AAS degree. Her career goals are to finish this program and then move on to pursue a bachelor's in business management or hospitality management. She wants to buy a food truck and one day buy a new one that she can design herself. Congratulations to all our inductees.
It is my pleasure to welcome you into the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and the lively fellowship of scholars to the force. I salute you for your accomplishments. I charge you to explore always for truth and to dedicate yourself to the cultivation of the well-written life, a prelude to service and honor. We will now induct the new officers of the 2020-2021 Alpha Lambda Phi Chapter of Phi Theta Kappa, Miranda, Arpan, Roger, and Erica. Before you assume your obligations as officers of the chapter, you shall renew your pledge of membership in Phi Theta Kappa. Repeat after me. I, state your name, do solemnly promise to uphold the standards of Phi Theta Kappa and to maintain by honest and independent endeavor the ideals of scholarship for which this organization stands. You are charged with the responsibility of learning the duties of your office and executing those duties to the best of your ability. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly promise to fulfill, to the best of my ability, my duties as an officer of the Alpha Lambda Phi Chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. You are duly recognized as an executive officer of the Alpha Lambda Phi Chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. We pledge the support of the members of this chapter to you. Congratulations, officers.
As we conclude this evening's ceremony, I would like to thank once again Dr. Judy Mitchell for her time and wisdom that she shared with us tonight. I sincerely hope that the new inductees will take her words to heart and heed her call to be bold and become the leaders of our chapter, campus, community, and nation. I would also like to thank Ms. Olivia Palumbo, the past president of Alpha Lambda Phi Chapter, and for sharing her experiences with us tonight. Finally, I would like to thank the new inductees. You are the future of Alpha Lambda Phi Chapter. Next year, this time, some of you will be inducted as new officers of this chapter. We look forward to working with you, and we encourage you to stay connected to your new chapter. We look forward to seeing you grow as leaders, scholars, and friends. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.